ESPN Top 100.
And these guys collectively are a talented group. Mookie Cook, one of the most versatile players in the class. He's headed to Oregon. Rayvon Griffith to Cincinnati. You love his energy. Trenton Pierce, a big pick-and-pop player. And True Washington, he just committed to New Mexico.
On the other side for LaLu, the Marquette commit, Zayd Lowry was sensational a night ago.
Well, he comes into this weekend shooting over 40% from three, and he was crushing it defensively and behind the three-point line. The young man's headed to Marquette. You can see his deep range, his willingness to look for his open shot, at the same time create some space with the step back. He's smooth, he's big. He's one of the biggest players for LaLu in terms of offensive efficiency.
AZ Compass did not play last night, so this is their first game of the tournament. LaLu turning around 24 hours later after a 3-point win against Oak Hill last night.
And AZ Compass won't have Zayden High in this game. His foot's in looks like a walking boot.
North Carolina commit. High ankle sprain earlier this week in practice, so won't have him this weekend.
And that hurts AZ Compass Prep on the glass, and he sprinkles in some offense for them, but he's been terrific rebounding for most of this season. But they have plenty of weapons. Don't feel bad for AZ Compass Prep.
Every player on AZ Compass except two is an ESPN ranked recruit.
And they're all high major guys. Even Farrell Compton, look at him, 0 in the yellow. This guy's getting a high major offer before it's over.
Victorious Miller off the mark on the jumper. Caleb Glenn, the second best rebounder in the NIBC, has his first of the night.
We talked about a must win for each team. AZ Compass Prep, top 15 in the country. The high school rankings. They can solidify maybe a spot with this win. Who knows, but they can't afford to lose it.
Miller steps in there, deflected away, and forced the turnover. And a jump ball right away. LaLu basketball on the possession arrow.
The strength of AZ Compass Prep. We mentioned it in the open, the scoring defense. They only allow 51 points per game. You think about all the talent in the NIBC, and they only give up 51 points. That's a big credit to their team and to the coaching staff.
Against the best shooting team in the NIBC in LaLu. Lowry, the dish to Glenn, dunked it and a foul.
You better be able to finish plays in this game. This is a big boy game for the nightcap in the NIBC. The penetration by Lowry. Defense helps up. Mookie Cook left the weak side naked. Caleb Glenn with the finish. You know, when somebody decides to help up, somebody has to help down. And there was no rotation.
Caleb Glenn is going to be such a welcomed addition to Louisville next year after such a poor year for the Cardinals this year.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be a steady, consistent, solid player for them. And they need steady. They need consistent when it comes to production and effort. Talking about Louisville. Curtis, 6'7" wing out of Michigan, top 100 prospect. You know, Kenny Payne's going to start over again next year.
Right.
I mean, this year was a wash. Next year could be as well. Depends what they do in the portal. If you can get some proven, battle-tested team guys that are pretty talented, you sprinkle in some freshmen, things can change right away. Look at NC State.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a horrible year last year. They went to the portal. They got Jaquel Joyner from Ole Miss. They got DJ Burns from Winthrop. He was the Big South Player of the Year. Terquavian Smith came back, and they're heading to the NCAA tournament.
That's just it. In the age of the transfer portal, you're one summer away from being able to compete again.
But I thought Jeff Capel said it really well. There was an article written by Jeff Borzello, our colleague at ESPN.com, who is a great writer. Mm-hmm. And Jeff Capel said to him, he said, look, it's not just about getting transfers, it's about getting the right transfers. Yeah. And what he meant by that is, we got to assess the talent, but we also need to know that their mind and heart are in the right place. They have to have the traits that we coach, the traits that we want. And that's important today with the portal game. You better evaluate who these kids are as players and people.
Look at the Axe starting lineups for AZ Compass. Smell irresistible all day. 5 guys ranked in the ESPN Top 100. And slapped out of bounds. Stays with AZ Compass.
LaLu has to really be dialed in with their defense off the bounce because AZ Compass Prep, they love to run that dribble weave and attack off the bounce and create for each other. And they really play with almost 4 guards.
This is Jordan Ross, one of them, to the cup and blocked by Glenn. What a start he's had in the first minute and a half.
He's a senior, and he understands the importance of this game.
Lowry hit 5 threes yesterday, lost the dribble. Mookie Cook, Oregon commit with the lay-in. First bucket of the game for AZ Compass.
Mookie brings excellent versatility. I think he's a really good defender, distributor. Jump shot needs to come next. When he plays with effort, I mean, he's as good as there is in the small forward position.
A 5-star recruit. He's an 18th overall player in this year's senior class.
Yeah, his effort has went up and down this season.
Yeah.
It was really good this summer. And he's been dialed back in. And I love the kid with the ball, Jordan Ross. He's going to St. Mary's.
He finds Cook for the 3.
There you go. That opens up his world. As long as he continues to defend and distribute, play with IQ, that jump shot can make him special.
And he's got the steal. The lead out. Up to Miller. 7 straight for AZ Compass.
VJ Miller, part of the ESPN 60, meaning one of the top 60 juniors in the nation. Great size. I see him as a future point guard.
Tybo Bailey sticks the corner 3.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah.
And he is a welcome addition back for Pat Holmes. He gives them 5 legitimate scoring options in the starting lineup.
Missed 8 weeks with a wrist injury. But you said it, one of 5 guys, all 5 starters that average in double figures for LaLu. Pharaoh Compton over Yolden.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, plays with more energy than Pharaoh Compton. He's got to control himself against Gus Yalden. He's fired up right now.
He gets called for a foul off the ball all the way back in the paint. A 6'7" junior from the Las Vegas area, 4-star ESPN recruit. Walters. Bailey again. 3-on-2. Pass tapped away by Lowry. He had 5 steals last night against Oak Hill.
He's got a long frame and good anticipation skills. Like he can see where the pass is going to be.
Caleb Glenn rattles in the 3 to tie the game.
There's Pharaoh Compton again. You know, that time he's not channeling his energy in the right direction.
Him and Gus Yalden getting tangled up again. We've seen that a couple times now in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, you love the emotion by Pharaoh Compton. And he brings a spirit to this team. But you also have to channel it in the right direction. You know, you want to play with emotion, but you don't want to be emotional when you're playing. If that makes sense. Can't have any drama.
Miller, good defense from Walters. Ten to shoot. Cook off the ball screen. He got the mismatch with Yalden and sticks the 3.
That's a great sign for AZ Compass Prep and Mookie Cook making 3s.
Good slash from Yalden, and he's fouled. 3-point lead for AZ Compass early in this one. Mookie Cook with a pair of 3s in this first quarter. Got the Dragons up a triple.
At Chipotle, our garlic guajillo recipe brings a whole new dimension to steak. Our most tender cuts, hand-seasoned and grilled fresh, mixed with garlic and guajillo peppers, finished with fresh lime and cilantro. All new garlic guajillo steak. It's a whole new dimension of flavor.
If you want to make yourself and your body happy, eat this.
Yeah?
Like the cilantro with the onion and the jalapeno and like the tomato. You put that in your mouth and like your taste buds go crazy.
I like crazy.
Oh, I love it.
This presentation of the NIBC series is brought to you by Axe. Smell irresistible all day. And by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you can save. An early lead for AZ Compass right now over LaLu and a team that usually gets it done defensively. Top defense in the NIBC, Paul, is getting it done offensively in the first 4.5 minutes.
They come into this game shooting 23% from three. Right now they're 2 for 2. And Mookie Cook, 14% in the NIBC. He's only made 2 threes all season. He's got 2 in the first quarter in this game.
Yeah, he's got both of them for AZ Compass in the first 4+ minutes.
You know, a lot of these teams in between the NIBC sessions, they have practice time. And you know, some schedule games, others decide to practice. And you can see the value of practice. We talked to Ed Gibson this week, and he said, you know what? When we can spend 4 or 5 days together and work on things, watch film, we can be a better team. And right now, they are playing with great purpose, great emotion, and togetherness. And you see Zayden High in the back there, that high ankle sprain. He's out for this game. So everyone for AZ Compass has to do a little bit more without Zayden High.
Well, they're ranked 13th in the country, and you probably think they're in a pretty decent spot to be able to make Geico Nationals, but it's not a given by any stretch, Paul. So if you come in this weekend, go 0-2, you're not putting yourself in a good spot.
Not at all. I mean, you've got to get quality wins, and all these games in the NIBC are high quality. And speaking of Zayden High, I mean, not a lot of points in the NIBC. He's averaging 7 points a game, but he gives them 5 rebounds. And that's a productive player when you're getting 7 and 5.
We had missed one of the 2 free throws during the media timeout, so that was why we only saw Gus Yalden take 1. He hit both, makes it a 1-point game.
You know that expression, don't go anywhere on TV? Well, here,
literally.
You can't go anywhere here. Do not leave.
Good hedge from Pierce. Walters attacking baseline. Tiptoeing the baseline, and he stepped on it for a turnover.
Well, the defense for AZ Compass Prep, that was Jamari Phillips. They push you, they influence you to the baseline, they give early help. And when you're small and you get pushed to the baseline and a little bit of a trap, double team, there's nowhere to go.
Oh, good finish. Marcus Allen, the 4-star junior, flips it in.
Now this kid is an awesome defender. He plays his role perfectly for AZ Compass Prep. If I had a hard-playing dude team, he'd be on it.
Oh, Mookie Cook swats Yalden.
Watch Marvell Allen. Couple of dribbles, strong drive, good finish.
Yalden cutting to the basket, give him a chance at 3.
The Gus Bus. Tell you what, he has a little bit of deceptive quickness. Nice back cut by Gus. And as he gets bumped to the ground, he kept his eyes focused on the rim, the backboard, the entire time. You know, it's tough to hit a shot when you get hit and you're falling down. This guy's going to play at Wisconsin next season for grade guard. They love to have bigs that can face up. Gus Yalden, as good facing up as he is with his back to the basket.
They play him more on the perimeter than they do in the post because they love his decision-making out there.
And he's a very good passer as well. 37% from 3 this season in the NIBC.
Trent Pierce is way off the mark on the 3. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter, tied at 14. Walters, blow by. Walters in the paint. 5 on the shot clock. Glenn through a couple defenders. Jump ball. And back to AZ Compass.
We see that time, AZ Compass Prep just rally to the ball. Great defense, one-on-one. Yvonne Griffith headed to Cincinnati, going to play for Wes Miller.
His hometown team, he's a Cincinnati kid.
He did, he played his summer basketball for the Midwest Basketball Club. They had a great season. Reed Shepard, Gabe Cups.
Oh, what a physical finish from Allen.
And that's what he is, a physical player. Hard-playing dude, terrific rebounder. I think he can be, not good, a great defender, Marvell Allen.
Walters is blocked by Compton. Phillips leading the break, going right at Yolden. Look out for Caleb Glenn. Woo!
You think Caleb Glenn has winning on his mind right now? Came out and made a three early in this game. He's made some defensive plays. That's the rejection by Farrell Compton. But watch Caleb Glenn, 1 in the blue. Going after it. Sides, you know what, I'm going to just play my position. I'll let my teammate block shots. And that's smart by Gus.
Yeah. Great curl. Miller. 2 free throws coming up for VJ Miller, the 5-star junior.
Ed Gibson does a great job for AZ Compass Prep, motivating defensive schemes. And we saw that out-of-bounds play. Beautiful little curl, creating good looks for his teammates, for his team, excuse me. You want to put your players in a position where they can be successful. That's what good coaches do.
Almost every single one of these guys on AZ Compass is a ranked ESPN recruit. We asked him earlier this week, how do you make that gel? How do you make that work? And he kind of chuckled and he said, well, it's not easy.
And they also have no choice.
Yeah.
I think he mentioned that when he was probably interviewing these guys. I mean, some of these teams don't have to recruit.
Right.
Kids want to play for them because they're successful. They play in a great conference, the best conference in high school basketball. So some of these coaches, Ed Gibson, Kevin Boyle, Sean McAloon, you know, they can be fussy on who they bring in.
Glenn a little strong on the 3.
Yeah, Luke Barnwell, Pat Holmes. I mean, they're not just taking talent. They're taking the right talent for who they can coach.
Rayvon Griffith. Ross drives right by Murray and a foul on the floor.
Jaden Ross is going to be a strong contributor next season right away for Randy Bennett, St. Mary's. I mean, you need guys like Jaden Ross if you want to beat Gonzaga. And he brings that type of mindset, skill level. He's an excellent point guard and leader.
Ross, 2 left. Well, into the first quarter and a 4-point lead for AZ Compass, 8 minutes in. LaLu needing to win this one to give themselves a chance at Geico Nationals. They're down after 1. Four-point lead for AZ Compass heading to the second quarter, and a gotta-have-it kind of game for both teams. Both head coaches kind of noted the importance of, hey, if we want to make Geico Nationals, it starts this weekend.
Stats are almost identical. Each team shooting 50% from the floor, 50% from 3, and perfect from the line.
All right, out-of-bounds play to start the quarter. Murray threw it off the leg of Walters, and so a turnover to start for LaLu.
Yeah, and they have 5 turnovers in this game. AZ Compass only with 1. That's been the difference of the 4-point lead.
That's what AZ Compass can do to you. Best defense in the NIBC. Offensive rebound. Marcus Allen had another good look at it, and it stays with AZ Compass.
I mean, AZ Compass has 11 points from LaLumire's 5 turnovers. So take care of the ball if you're LaLumire. Work to get shots. Any shot. A bad shot sometimes is better than even a live ball turnover. As long as your best players are taking the bad shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
True Washington off the screen. Leans into a 3, and he's fouled by Gus Yalden.
Ed Gibson loves True Washington. Just the way he approaches the game. He's a serious player. He's going to play for Richard Pitino at New Mexico. Great pickup.
They actually called that on Zayd Lowry, who I didn't even think was around that shot at all.
Yeah, I didn't see him in the play. You know, when you talked about all the ESPN ranked players, just think about if someone like True Washington was at a different high school. He'd be scoring 25 points a game. You know, he'd get 10 rebounds a game because the team, the offense and defense may be centered around a guy like that. But you come here and you sacrifice your game to win.
Missed the free throw. He got his own miss. Couldn't finish. You sacrifice some points because it really gets you more exposure and gets more college coaches focused on you, doesn't it?
If you play well. Yeah. I mean, you have to play well. He's not shooting well, True Washington, but he plays well for the most part. And you play against great players in practice. It's a very demanding schedule. It's not for everybody.
This is great defense from AZ Compass. Forced another turnover, 7th of the game for LaLumire. The lead out, good pass, leaving it off for Griffith.
B.J. Miller with the IQ to find his teammate. He had a layup, but you know what? He wanted his teammate running the floor to get the 2 points. And that is just unselfish basketball.
It's a 7-0 run right now for AZ Compass. And a blocking foul sends Caleb Glenn to the free throw line to try to put an end to that.
Watch V.J. Miller, number 5 for AZ Compass Prep. He's at the top of the break right there. He has a layup if he wants it. But he just, nice and soft, gives it up to Griffin.
Maybe the answer is it's not too hard to get these guys to be unselfish and play with one another.
No, it takes time, believe me. They all come in with egos. They all come in with a mentality of, well, I'll be the man of this team. Yeah. Well, there's other guys next to you, and you got to play within your strength for the team to be good. And so I think Ed Gibson, Pat Holmes, and all the coaches, you know, they have to have a lot of meetings, one-on-one meetings with these guys to say, hey, this is what we see in you. This is how you can help us. We need you to play this role. You know, one guy can be the star. Somebody else can be the supporting star, and then there's a cast of role players. But for this AZ Compass team, this is one of the few teams that has great balance. Anyone could be a star on this team.
Miller leans into the jumper, rims out.
And I think you can say the same for Montbird, IMG, Sunrise. And even LaLumire. Like, you don't know who's going to be the leading scorer for Pat Holmes.
It might be that guy, Zayd Lowry.
But I know one thing, I wouldn't leave that guy open.
No.
I mean, 44% right now coming into this weekend from 3.
He went 5 of 7 from 3 yesterday, only making that 44% go up. The spin, the block from Caleb Glenn. He's already got 3 blocks in the first half.
I'll tell you what, he's going to increase the team culture at Louisville, if anything.
One more from Bailey to Lowry. He connects.
I mean, you got to make him dribble to a shot. You can't make him catch, be comfortable, and shoot it.
An 8-0 run from LaLumire made it a 7-point deficit to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, watch this by Caleb Glenn. Louisville Cardinal fans, take a look at that. He gets the block. That leads to offensive transition. The extra pass, the deep three. The Lakers up 1.
At Chipotle, our garlic guajillo recipe brings a whole new dimension to steak. Our most tender cuts, hand-seasoned and grilled fresh, mixed with garlic and guajillo peppers, finished with fresh lime and cilantro. All new garlic guajillo steak. It's a whole new dimension of flavor.
The chicken always seems to be a big favorite. People love it.
You're not pulling it out of a box. You're making food.
Yeah, I like being able to put pride in my food and pride in my work. You get to walk right in. You see me making your chicken. This is going to be in your bowl.
This is it.
This is it. This is it.
Take a look at our Chipotle player spotlight now. Real food for real athletes, and we're talking about the 5-star Mookie Cook. Man, what do you think about this Chipotle order?
This is loaded.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, he's got multiple.
Double chicken.
He's got multiple orders of everything, right? 2 chicken. Well, he's got the burrito bowl, but he put what rice in it. He's got the guac, salsa, 2 tortillas.
On the side, of course.
On the side, but he's going to eat them. I mean, looking at that and working all day, I need DoorDash right now.
We need more Chipotle brought to the table. We got some yesterday. Where is it today, guys?
I don't know, but that Chipotle yesterday was perfect. I mean, I crushed the guac right at the table.
With your fork.
With my,
that
better
was,
than with your fingers.
That was something. No chips, no burrito, no bowl. You just needed a fork. I would like to see you eat it with your fingers next, though. If we could get some guac over the table and you could just make it finger food, that would be awesome.
Maybe late at night, you know?
Yeah.
When you get the munchies.
It's an 8-0 run right now for LaLu. They were down 7 just about a minute and a half ago, and now up 1. Both teams trying to fight to get a spot at Geico Nationals. Miscommunication between Jordan Ross and Jamari Phillips. It's just the second turnover for AZ Compass today.
LaLu was locked in on that possession. Under Pat Holmes, this has been a terrific defensive program. Not a team, but a program. They have the ability to guard any team in the country. They don't have a lot of size, but they got a lot of grit.
They've got a great shooter in Zayd Lowry who attacks all the way to the basket. Yolden the offensive rebound, but stripped from him. Washington crosses over. Blocked by Glenn again. This guy is ridiculous. 4 of them in the first half.
Kenny Payne may want to use Caleb Glenn tomorrow against Virginia. 2 o'clock on ESPN. 2. My goodness. Now, he can block shots, but he has been a rim protector in this game. He knows his career is coming down to an end, and he doesn't want it to stop. And that's the urgency that you want to recruit to in a program. You want guys that have the heart of Caleb Glenn.
Pat Holmes told you and I earlier this week that he's been so aggressive. He's just going at everybody. You're seeing that tonight.
And he also said, he's in there at 6 a.m. in the morning on the gun machine working on his three-point shooting. Yeah. And you know what? He's capable to sprinkle in a 3 here and there.
Offensive foul is called here against Jamari Phillips to give it right back to LaLu. Yeah, he said nobody is up earlier than Caleb Glenn every day. 6 a.m. on the gun, getting shots up. He's the first guy in the gym daily.
Yeah, and that's an offensive foul right there, the push-off by Jamari Phillips. And that shooting may not pay off in the next game, but it pays off down the line somewhere. It always does.
Glenn.
Tight spacing. Not good right now.
Bailey makes it work, though. Flips it in with the left hand.
I thought it was too many players clumped together for LaLu. Tybo Bailey. They love his offense.
4-star recruit. He has a ton of Power 5 offers already.
Yeah, he's got to learn to continue to be a better help defender. I watch him. He is just hugging his man everywhere.
Cook poked away, but they get a foul on Walters.
That time, Tybo Bailey was in the right spot. He almost came up with the steal.
There is Pat Holmes, 6th-year head coach of LaLu. And recently, a new dad about 3 months ago.
That means no sleep for Pat Holmes. Congratulations.
Due to son and sometimes the stress of coaching a basketball team, right? Oh, through Washington.
That was stressful for Pat Holmes right there. That keeps you up at night watching film.
Which one do you lose more sleep as, a coach or a dad?
Oh, coach by far. Not even close.
You got to have good kids, though, right?
I have great daughters.
There you go.
Yeah, the game, win or lose, just keeps you up, right? The adrenaline of a win, the misery of a loss.
The adrenaline of getting to work with you nightly, that's what keeps me up. Excited for every single day to work with you, Paul.
I usually put people to sleep when they work with me. That was kind.
Ross flips it right back out. Step back three for Allen. Little strong, and Glenn flies up for the rebound.
Wow, that was a man's rebound by Caleb Glenn. I mean, he soared up with two hands to snatch that ball. Watch this. He's only 6'7". Watch Caleb Glenn, number one in the blue. He comes into your screen. That ball is way above the rim, and he gets it above the rim with two hands in traffic.
Listen to this stat line for him as he goes to the line at 1-1. 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 blocks, and we're not even at halftime yet.
Yeah, and his average is 12.5 points a game, 8 rebounds. He shoots 85% from the free throw line. We talked about him being a capable three-point shooter. He's 33%, 11 for 33 coming into this game. He's at a good spot. He's got a good baseline for a three-point shot moving forward.
What's the next step when he gets to Louisville next year?
Well, I think for him, just to play within himself. You know, don't try to do too much too early. Be a defender, be a rebounder, and score with opportunity. You know, cutting, transition, open shots, open drive lanes. You know, his handle could be better, and his three-point shot needs to get better.
Pierce spins on Yolden. He's blocked again by Glenn. His 5th of the first half. Are we talking triple-double alert with blocked shots, Paul?
We're getting close to it. I have not seen him this active on the weak side. All his blocks have come either in transition on a chase-down block or a weak side help.
Walters with the defense. They didn't realize the shot clock was winding down, and Ross never got a shot up.
That was great defense. Great defense by LaLu. Trenton Walters pressuring the ball, not afraid to get beat, forces the violation.
Lowry got 2 defenders to fly.
Well, he needs 2 guys on him.
Right back to Lowry. In and out, and rebounded by Allen. But thrown away.
You need a dedicated defender against Zay Lowry. I mean, somebody who's not going to help, not dig it out, not double. Because once a player leaves him, a defender leaves him, then he spots up somewhere else. You lose him, you give up 3. There's certain guys that you don't leave. He's one of them. We used to call them no-help guys.
Hit 5 threes yesterday. Pick and pop for Yolden. Hand in his face on the 3, and he missed everything. In transition, Vincent Delano swirls out. Allen on the offensive glass, but he lost it.
All of these games this afternoon and yesterday, high intensity. You know, nobody being lackadaisical. Nobody quitting, regardless of the score.
Oh, there's teams like Legacy and Oak Hill who are trying to win games at the end of the season, improve their record. There's teams like these two who are trying to get into Geico Nationals.
Yeah, you think about Oak Hill got their first win in the NIBC. Most teams that have not won a game in conference, sometimes just by nature, right? They decide, you know what, we can't do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to try anymore. Just the opposite for Oak Hill. I mean, they played with extreme urgency, and they played well today. They shot the ball extremely well, but they put the offense together with the defense against a tough Legacy team. But the schemes by the coaches have been outstanding. But to me, the intensity by the players has been even more impressive. They're trying so hard.
Cook with 10 on the shot clock. Yolden pokes the pass away.
Right time, right place.
And a timeout taken by Pat Holmes. The use it or lose it timeout for La Lemire. Oh, we talked about a couple teams just now who are at the bottom of the NIBC standings. These are two teams that are kind of in the middle. AZ Compass in the upper half of that, La Lemire in the bottom half. But again, two teams that are still alive for a chance to go to Geico Nationals depending on how this weekend plays out.
Yeah, if you look at wins, if La Lemire wins today, they'll be tied with Sunrise.
Yeah.
And Sunrise, we know, is an excellent team.
15th in the country, Sunrise.
15th in the country, and, you know, AZ Compass, a couple of spots in front of them. I mean, this thing is so powerful that when you look at these teams in any other conference, the teams at the bottom of this conference would be at the top of another conference.
The 1 and 2 spots are clinched already. Montverde is already the regular season champion in the NIBC, and Lehigh with the win earlier today, they have sole spot of second. After the win last night, they could have shared it. Today, the win, they get second all to themselves.
Yeah, and Lehigh has played like the second best team in the NIBC. Yeah. I mean, Montverde has been from start to finish this season. They've been the best team on paper, and they were the best team in the games. And that's hard to do. But Lehigh, I'll tell you what, they were a close second.
You remember when we had Montverde on opening night and they lost to this AZ Compass team?
They did. They did. You know, they crushed IMG Montverde in their first game, I believe, and then AZ Compass beat them. Yeah, Montverde's had a couple of losses this year. I think Mount St. Joe's has beat them as well.
2 total losses. I think they're 25-2 this year. Lost their first NIBC game and then won 11 in a row to win the NIBC.
And some of the games that they've won, they won in a convincing fashion.
A reach-in foul with Hill driving to the basket.
You know, we talked about AZ Compass and their scoring defense. They only allow 51 points. They score 59. If this game gets into the mid-60s or higher, I don't know if they have the offensive ability in a half-court set to win. So right now the pace favors AZ Compass.
Hill kicks, open look. Washington off the heel. Rebounded by Bailey. They got 3 seconds. Glenn from half court. What a fun first half, huh?
Intense. I'm going to use that word the rest of the game because you can feel the urgency by each team with every possession. Caleb Glenn just being a man in this game, both offensively and defensively. How about that block? And that one.
And that one.
He's having a block party in Louisville.
3-point lead for La Lemire going into halftime here in Greenville.
Slipped out. You get a win tonight. You had a win against Oak Hill yesterday, who got their first win against Legacy. Things can change in a hurry.
Nightcap of day 2, our third and final game today. It's been a fun one. 3-point lead for LaLu over 13th-ranked AZ Compass.
And the bench for LaLu. We mentioned it last night, but not yet tonight. It's a thin bench. Maybe one guy, maybe two. AZ Compass has more depth. Will that be a factor down the stretch?
Washington leans into a jumper. Glenn has his 7th rebound already. Triple-double watch. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocks in the first half.
He's playing with an enormous amount of energy. It's like he could play another game after this.
Glenn for 3. Playing on both ends. This guy is feeling it tonight.
You know, it's amazing what you can do when you're dialed in. He's been dialed in since the tap.
You just tweeted out, Louisville fans, there is hope.
There is hope.
There's a lob up to Pharaoh Compton, who came down on his right leg and limping a little bit on the way back.
You know, because I know Louisville fan base very well. I go on the ESPN radio with Bobby and Nikki Valvano all the time. They're discouraged right now, not just disappointed. They don't know what the future holds, but you've got some hope with Caleb Glenn, Curtis Williams. You hit the portal the right way. You establish a little bit of a culture with guys that want to stay. There's going to be guys leaving because they want to leave, and there's going to be guys leaving because Kenny Payne wants them to leave. Yeah.
Ross swings it back out to Washington. Compton. Cook, nice. Step back fadeaway jumper, too strong.
No, I like the move by Mookie Cook. Anytime you can create separation to get a jump shot, it's a good move.
Walters had his pocket picked by Ross. An offensive foul is called.
Do they make him any tougher than Trenton Walters? I mean, how tall is he?
5'8".
On a good day. and Jordan Ross is 6'3 plus. And he just beats him to the spot, takes the hit. You know it hurts. And he's right back up leading his team.
You asked Pat Holmes this week, who do you trust most on your team? And you didn't even finish the question, and he immediately had Trenton Walters.
And Pat's got a team that a lot of guys you can trust.
Yeah.
But to trust the most, smallest guy on the court, speaks volumes.
Headed to Radford next year, going to be a really good mid-major player. Caleb Glenn has taken this game into his own hands, though.
You know, he's not a big-time scoring player, Caleb Glenn. He's more of a rebounder than scorer. Look at that one. Oh, lost track.
Don't tell him tonight he's not a scoring guy.
No, I said he's not a big scoring guy. His offensive game will have to get better at the next level. You know, catch and shoots don't come all the time. He's going to have to learn how to come off screens, play inside, and score inside. He certainly has the body to score close to the basket. You know, his offensive game has to develop. It has to continue to be polished. But there's no denying him on the glass. I think he has a tremendous work ethic, strong vertical, and he has a secure pair of hands, so when he catches the ball off the glass, he usually holds on.
He's got Ed Gibson searching for all kinds of answers at the start of this third quarter. Bailey. This is good defense from AZ Compass. And a travel called on the baseline.
I don't know if you want to go baseline against AZ Compass Prep. They've been doing this since day one. They influence you. They shade you to the baseline. The help comes early. There's really nowhere to go.
Oh, nearly an and one chance for Marcus Allen, but the four-star junior has free throws coming up.
This kid plays with a toughness and a joy. You know, some guys are just so excited to be in the game. You know, he doesn't look for his shot. They don't run plays for him. He gets it off the glass. He gets it in the offensive transition game. but he is capable to put points on the board.
The 55th ranked player in the ESPN Top 60 junior class. He's got offers to Missouri, Florida State, Villanova, Miami, Stanford, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think he can make his mark in the college game as a defender, rebounder first.
Yeah.
If he can embrace that and work at it, there's not a lot of guys like that in the college game. Hey, I'm going to be a great defender and a rebounder. They pay money for that at the next level.
They sure do.
And he is on Caleb Glenn right now as we speak. What a matchup between these two.
The lob to Yalden, tipped away.
Yeah, Glenn tapped his chest. He said to Pat Holmes, "My bad."
Bailey pestering Miller. Phillips got it.
He came to AZ Compass Prep, I believe, in December, maybe
mid-season.
Mid-season. And he's done a nice job of fitting in and still contributing.
Bailey is fouled on the three. And that's not easy because we talked about there's 8 guys on this AZ Compass roster that are 4 or 5-star guys on this team. And so to come into a roster like that mid-season, have to fit into a role, not easy, but he knows he can shoot it.
Yeah, and he also tells me that when you want to come in and fit in, when you're talented and play with other talented guys, you care about winning.
Oh, that three pulls his team within 2 about halfway through this third quarter. Lamir up by a bucket on the 13th ranked team in the country.
At Chipotle, our garlic guajillo recipe brings a whole new dimension to steak. Our most tender cuts, hand-seasoned and grilled fresh, mixed with garlic and guajillo peppers, finished with fresh lime and cilantro. All new garlic guajillo steak. It's a whole new dimension of flavor.
So is this stuff really fresh?
Yes. I mean, yeah, we don't have freezers. It's definitely real food. We always have fresh stuff coming in. I mean, this is the best guac that you can get.
Fresh is what you stand for.
Definitely.
AZ Compass, 13th in the country. They are right outside of this top 10 in the country, but there is 2 NIBC teams. Montverde, number 1. LaLu High, who we saw earlier today, 8th in the nation. They got a big win over 15th-ranked Sunrise Christian this afternoon.
Yeah, we're going to update the rankings again on Monday, so there'll be more movement after the games this weekend in the NIBC and games all across the country. LaLu High has held steady inside the top 10 once they got there. Montverde has been the king of the rankings over the years. They've been number 1 so many times. I'd like to look back at, how many weeks in a row they've held the number 1 spot.
They've won the national title 6 of the last 9 years as well. Let me ask you this. You're updating the rankings on Monday. LaLu High's 2-0. They beat 15th-ranked Sunrise. They beat Legacy last night. They play AZ Compass tomorrow. So if they get a pair of top 15 wins in a span of 24 hours, do they move into your top 5, you think?
I think they have a great chance to do that. Now, part of the rankings is what you do and what other people do.
Yeah.
Now, in those rankings, Duncanville is done for the season. Down in Texas Public School, I believe Centennial has 1 more game left. But I would say after 2 ranked opponent wins, they would have a good chance to get near that number 5 spot. Paul VI, they lost in the WCAC championship game to St. John's, who's a ranked team.
Yeah.
So when you get ranked as a team, a lot has to do with what you do, what other people do. You can only control what you do, and right now, LaLu High has been phenomenal at controlling their own destiny.
Tybo Bailey was fouled on a 3 right before the timeout.
And sometimes teams don't play, right? And
yeah.
They move down, and I'll get messages, why did I move down? We didn't play. Well, other people played and moved up.
Right.
Well, double screen, rescreen.
Good drive from Miller. Farrell Compton. Marcus Allen on the backside. A reach-in foul called here against V.J. Miller.
Really nice action by AZ Compass Prep. They come off a double high screen. Now watch this. He turns it back. They rescreen. Penetration leaves Allen wide open on the weak side.
Getting through 1 double screen is hard enough, let alone 2.
It really is. Anytime you can rescreen, it makes it hard for the defense.
Lowry rejects the screen, going baseline. Good pass to Bailey. And rebounded by Trent Pierce, the Missouri commit.
Nice job getting back by LaLu.
Miller straight to the basket. He's blocked.
There's Superman.
Caleb Glenn with his 6th block of the game. And Rayvon Griffith stepped on the baseline.
Again, all of his blocks have been either chase down blocks or weak side blocks. And that's harder to do because you've got to cover ground quickly.
A travel called right after the turnover.
It's one thing to block it on your own man. You know he has the ball. You're guarding him. But when you have to come over or come down, it takes great effort.
15 points, 9 rebounds, 6 blocks for Caleb Glenn halfway through the third quarter.
Louisville fans, there's hope. I should have hashtagged it when I posted.
Should have. Get it trending. These kids all have all sorts of energy tonight. They are all over the place, getting wet spots in the floor wiped up. All mop team.
LaLu, assistant coach, getting on the floor. When you're an assistant coach, there's no job that's below you.
I was going to say other duties as assigned is what that was.
I did that as a volunteer coach when I was younger and a graduate assistant.
Miller hounded by Bailey. Griffith bumped off his path driving to the basket.
Griffith plays with so much enthusiasm. You know, he's always on. And his game comes in transition. His game comes with drive. Gets a little bit of three-point shooting in. And he gives AZ Compass some really good balance.
Phillips gliding to the basket, and he got fouled.
You know, when you guard AZ Compass, there's so much talent on the floor, and they all do different things, right? Phillips can shoot it. Mookie Cook has showed the ability tonight to, be dangerous behind the line. You got to block out Allen. You got to block out Farrell Compton. I mean, they got a lot of different weapons. Not a great shooting team, less than 30% in the NIBC. But if they can make timely threes and score inside the arc at a good pace, they're as good as any team in the country. Because defensively, they just swallow you up.
I was going to say, all you got to do is make a handful of shots with the way they play defense.
Yeah, they always score a bulk of their points from their defense. At halftime in this game, they had 14 points from LaLu 7 turnovers.
It's up to 18 now. More than half their points have come off of turnovers.
I'm sorry, off of the 10 turnovers in the first half. This is the all-mop team. I mean, an assistant coach, he needs a raise. Keeps coming out there, wiping things down.
Give these kids some fruit snacks or something from the concession stand. They've earned it.
Yeah, and there's 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Or 2 now. One went to bed, I think.
Yeah, so it was bedtime for one of them.
Yeah, give them some sugar at nighttime. That's a great idea, Noah.
It's coming from the non-parent in me, I guess. That's the fun thing about being an uncle myself is you give the kid the sugar and then you give them back to mom and dad at the end of the night and it's not your problem.
Yeah, you give them soda, ice cream, and gummy bears, and then you leave.
That's exactly what I'm going to do as an uncle.
There's that double high screen. Let's see if they rescreen. That's a good action by Ed Gibson.
Contested 3 didn't matter. Griffith sticks it.
He can sprinkle in threes now. Don't sleep on Rayvon Griffith.
Stolen by Griffith. What a sequence for the Cincinnati commit.
And that's what he does. I talked about bringing enthusiasm to the game. And he can feed off his own enthusiasm. Coming into this game, he's only made 1 3 in the NIBC.
Hit a three, got a steal, then got a bucket again.
And that's what he does. He gives you a burst.
Walters was blocked by Griffith, and it was last off the hand of Lowry. How about Rayvon Griffith here?
Comes out of the corner. Watch, he's in the left corner. Catch and shoot. He was ready to shoot. Anytime a guy's ready to shoot, he has a chance to make it. Then the trap. Good deflection, right to the rack. And then right on the ball. I mean, when you look at his productivity per minute, it's high.
Oh, Glenn, great hustle, but couldn't chase it down. Numbers now for AZ Compass. Phillips doesn't get the bounce, and it's out of bounds back to LaLu. The Lakers trying to put an end to this 8-0 run for AZ Compass.
And Tybo Bailey did a nice job of getting back into the play, trying to contest the three. Anytime you get a hand up on a shooter, it can make a big difference. And you're not going to trap this guy. He's too quick. He's too smart and clever.
Trenton Walters, the Radford commit.
You'll trap him, and he's so quick and small, he'll go underneath the trap. He'll nutmeg the trap.
Good kick by Walters. Bailey buries the three.
What a read by Walters. Got right into the teeth of the defense, right near the free throw line. Looked left, looked right, found the open man.
Backdoor cut. A foul on the floor against LaLu. They got Zayd Lowry for it. Ooh, that's his fourth too, Coach.
Now watch this pass by Mookie Cook. Reads it, sees the back door, and just fires it in. Really good catch by Griffith.
I take that back. That was 3 on Lowry. They updated the live stats instantaneously.
How about putting in a new rule next year in the NIBC? 6 fouls.
I like it.
Old Big East days when I coached, we had 6 fouls. Guys would just crush us.
Offensive foul called against Jordan Ross. Ed Gibson beside himself.
Now he is so enthusiastic. I mean, and that's that's all the time, on the telephone, in practice, in the meetings. It's passionate and it's real.
7 seconds left in the quarter. Tie game. Bailey with 2. Leans in, slipped and traveled. Get those mop boys out there again.
Yeah, get those mop boys out there. Get that mop on the floor. If not, they're going to have to run sprints after.
That would run off the sugar that I gave him.
Now there's only one out there.
We got another one behind us. He's just letting the other guy do all the work, taking the credit. Oh, we're going to the fourth quarter in a tie game. 37 apiece, LaLu and AZ Compass. An important game for both coming down to the wire.
Hey.
Resume heading into Geico Nationals. AZ Compass and LaLu deadlocked at 37. Paul going to the fourth quarter.
Well, it's a little early to say you want overtime, but I wouldn't mind. I mean, the way this game has been played back and forth, Caleb Glenn may be having the best game of his career at the right time for LaLu. And for AZ Compass Prep, it's been a collective effort, different guys at different times.
I heard the collective groan from our production truck when you just said overtime, by the way.
Well, I mean, theoretically speaking, I'd like it to go into overtime. From a hunger standpoint, I'd rather not.
We got to get food. That's a good drop-off from Ross to Compton, but he couldn't handle it, and it's a turnover.
Yeah, the coach in me wants to see overtime.
You don't have to go through the 4-game day tomorrow with us. You're bailing on us a day early to go to the Big South tournament. So we got 4 more tomorrow, Paul, all right?
You do. You'll have a fresh Rayful Davis, too.
Yeah.
Where is he today? Is he in the building? I don't see him.
I don't either. It's a little collision that sent Lowry down to the ground along with Rayvon Griffith. Both guys a little slow to get back up.
And, you know, we joke about the kids wiping up the spots and the coaches. That's so important. 1 piece, 1 ounce of perspiration can cause a bad injury. I've seen it too many times in my career. And the building is cold. It's just the players are hot. They got so much perspiration coming out of their pores because they're giving so much energy, so much effort. It's been great to watch. They got Gus if they want him.
They do have him. Stripped away from him, though.
There's that weak side help by AZ Compass. Ed Gibson preaches it. He emphasizes it. And his team executes it.
And Bailey tried to gamble. He gets called for a foul. His third. Zayd Lowry has 4 for LaLu with a very thin bench. That's something to keep an eye on.
And each team 2 fouls away from the bonus.
And LaLu has played 7 guys tonight, but Danny Murray has played just 8 minutes. Isaiah Hendrickson has played just 1 minute. So truly, it's more of a 5-man rotation, just the starters.
And it's been amazing to see them shoot it, and to have the stamina and endurance. And I think Caleb Glenn has had an inspirational performance so far.
Back-to-back double-doubles. He went 19 and 13 last night. He's got 15 and 10 with 6 blocks tonight. Pass deflected, stays with the Lakers. I mean, you talk about needing to win 3 games this weekend for LaLu, and the way that Caleb Glenn has showed up the last 2 nights shows you that guy wants to win.
Who do they have tomorrow night?
They've got Sunrise, 7 o'clock.
And Sunrise went toe-to-toe with LaLu today.
The 15th ranked team in the nation tomorrow. Not an easy stretch for LaLu. They're trying to pull one out against AZ Compass here in the 4th.
You want to make yourself and your body happy? Eat this.
Yeah?
Like the cilantro with the onion and the jalapeno and like the tomato. You put that in your mouth and like your taste buds go crazy.
I like crazy.
Oh, I love it.
The chicken always seems to be a big favorite. People love it.
You're not pulling it out of a box. You're making food.
Yeah. I like being able to put pride in my food and pride in my work. You get to walk right in. You see me making your chicken. This is going to be in your bowl.
This is it.
This is it. This is it.
This presentation of the NIBC series is brought to you by Axe. Smell irresistible all day. And by Chipotle. Real food for real athletes. Well, the final game of day 2 today. We've got a full slate tomorrow. One of 4 games going on. We started with Oak Hill and Bishop Walsh, Wasatch and Legacy. And how about 2 games to end this tournament tomorrow? A top 15 matchup between AZ and LaLu. Sunrise Christian ranked 15th in the country, taking on LaLu in the nightcap at 7 o'clock. That's going to be a fun day of hoops again tomorrow.
Incredible slate tomorrow. Oak Hill could get their 2nd win against Bishop Walsh in the NIBC. Feeling good about themselves and playing well, but that AZ Compass Prep LaLu game, that could have major implications for Geico Nationals, as well as Sunrise Christian and LaLu.
Yeah, Sunrise Christian, if they come in and lose a couple games in a row, I know they're ranked 15th in the country, but it's not a given right now that they're going to make it to Geico Nationals.
No, again, you talk about rankings. Take care of what you can control, and that's the game that you play. You know, it's just like the NCAA tournament. Teams talk about how to get in. You have no control. You have no say over what other teams are going to do, who they play, just over who you play and how you play.
Bailey fouled on the drive.
And really, you really don't have control over how you play. You just have control over how you prepare to play.
Yeah.
You know, what your energy level is. You control that. How dialed in you are mentally. You control that. How much did you pay attention and focus on the scouting report? You control that. You have no control over your turnovers, your shots.
Lowry off the inbounds. Left it short. Cook wants to push on the break. Phillips steps back to a three. Here goes Lowry on the break. A 1-on-2, and he's fouled.
You know, we mentioned a few times about how LaLu only plays 5 guys. And I'm looking at them defensively to see if they're tired, because that's the first sign you're going to see is on the defensive end. No sign of fatigue whatsoever. In fact, the loose ball gets pushed full speed. A couple of guys coming into the play. Caleb Glenn.
Oh, Lowry hit his head on the chair.
I mean, you would think with only 5 guys, there's going to be fatigue at some point, especially against a team like AZ Compass Prep, who just puts suffocating pressure on you all game long.
And in game 2 of a back-to-back right now. They won by just 3 last night against Oak Hill. Turn around and play 24 hours later. They've got a game tomorrow 24 hours later against Sunrise.
You just, you know, at this point of the season, you practice less so you can play more. You should have an endurance level about yourself individually and as a team. But I'll tell you what, you only play 5 guys. You don't have guys moaning and groaning about playing time.
3 is off the mark from Miller, and AZ Compass has gone nearly 4.5 minutes without any points.
And that's what happens to AZ Compass Prep. They hit these droughts. As good as their defense is, as great as their defense is, great pull-up.
Walters from the mid by Cook. Great outlet to Miller. And AZ Compass has the lead.
It may be the best team in the country scoring from their defense. I mean, not only do they defend at a high level, they understand how to convert at a high level. Whoever gets the rebounds looking up, other guys are breaking out, but they don't do it at the expense of defending first.
Best defense in the NIBC, give up just 51 points a game. Got 5.5 to go in the fourth quarter, and they've kept LaLu under 40. Walters lost the dribble right back to LaLu. And how about this stat, Paul? 19 turnovers now for LaLu. They've only taken 22 field goal attempts, and yet somehow Pat Holmes' team is only down 1 against the 13th ranked team in the nation.
Because they're 6 for 12 from 3.
That'll help.
The three-point shot is a great equalizer for a lot of blemishes. It's like makeup. Just covers the blemish.
It's like me putting on makeup before the game today, right, to go on camera. Washington got his own miss. The reload from Miller, in and out. Glenn has his 12th rebounds.
You have to move the ball side to side. And you have to move without the ball against this defense. And LaLu is doing that right now.
Yalden, the Wisconsin commit, in the paint. Kick out to Lowry. Good extra pass. Bailey hits it at the expiration of the shot clock.
Great patience by LaLu. Never panicked. Kept moving the ball. They found the open man. The ball always finds the open man.
Griffith. Another rebound for Glenn. Back-to-back nights, he's at 13 boards.
Neither team getting a lot of second chance points.
Yeah, offensive rebounds have been limited for LaLu, just 2. AZ Compass has 12 offensive rebounds, but just hasn't led to those second chance points like you're talking about. But going back to last possession, this ball movement to lead to an open 3.
Yeah, went from left to right, to the middle, to the corner, and then one more right before the shot clock expired. I mean, that's a high basketball IQ to make that play. And a lot of onions to knock it down.
Pulling out the Bill Raftery, huh?
Well, he used to call our games when I was at Boston College and Ohio State. So, yes, you pick up a few terms along the way.
Walters, baseline, kick, Lowry from the corner. Jackson, 3:22 to go. AZ Compass has the ball down 2. In what's been a phenomenal game to end day 2.
If you think about it, if LaLu just had 5 or 6 less turnovers, they have 19 in this game. I mean, they'd be winning by double figures. Not a lot of fast break points. LaLu has 0 fast break points in this game. AZ Compass less than 10. LaLu does a really good job with their offensive flow. They play in rhythm. They understand where each other is, so they take good shots. That allows them to get back in defensive balance.
Well, Lamir's the best three-point shooting team in the NIBC, and they're shooting well tonight, 47% from 3. It's just been ending possessions with shots because they've got those 19 turnovers.
And even on the misses, I mean, they're good misses because they're in rhythm, and their team allows that to get back. But now if you're AZ Compass, your biggest weakness has been scoring. They are averaging 60 points a game in the NIBC, but LaLu is a very good half-court defensive team. I think for the season, they're only giving up 63 points per game.
This is Ross, the New Mexico commit. Phillips attacking baseline. Floats it up, but short. And the rebound tracked down by the shortest guy on the floor, Trent Walters.
LaLu not only shoots it well, but they defend the 3 well. Less than 30% they give up behind the arc. You add that to what they score it at, that's why they're hard to beat. I mean, think about this. They're shooting it at 42%. They only give up 30%. That's a 12-point differential. That's high. Anything over 5 is impressive.
Well, that's the story tonight. They're shooting it at 47%. AZ Compass is shooting it at 27%. Five to shoot. Walters turns it over. Washington to Phillips. This time Glenn doesn't get the block. He has 6 tonight. Picks up the foul instead, sending Phillips to the line.
AZ Compass puts a lot of pressure on the ball. They deny the wing, and they convert in a hurry. I mean, they are so quick to go from defense to offense. They sprint the floor. They don't run the floor. They sprint the floor, and they don't dribble it up. They pass it up. Big difference. The ball moves way faster than any defender.
The defense has kept them in it tonight, forcing 20 turnovers.
Each team playing to their strength, right? AZ Compass playing to the forcing turnover game, and LaLu playing to their three-point shot game.
AZ Compass had a nearly 4.5-minute scoreless stretch earlier in this second half. They're going on nearly 3 minutes without any points right now.
And they only have one player in double figures, which is Mookie Cook.
1 of 2 from Phillips makes it a 1-point game with 2.5 to go.
My wish could happen. 1-point game with 2.5 to go. Could be overtime.
This is coming from the guy who, 10 minutes ago said, I don't work past 10:30. It's 10:30
Well,
on the
that's
dot
what my
right now.
contract
So
says.
You got to make up your mind here.
We can break contracts. Yeah, I get paid overtime.
There you go.
You need to work that into your contract.
I was going to say, I need to be on the Paul Biancardi contract.
Yeah, it's $100 a minute after 10:30. I want double overtime.
Get Paul Bronstetter over here. I'm wanting to rework this contract.
Is he going to call that on the floor?
Bailey's fouled. Let's see. Nope, 2 free throws.
You're watching these two guys coach, Ed Gibson, Pat Holmes. They're both intense, first-class guys, but, you know, they talk to the official, but you don't see any type of barking at the official. They're locked into coaching their team, and that's what the great coaches do. Yeah, you got to argue a call. You've got to talk to an official, but they never lose their mindset of coaching their team. And that's a special trait that not a lot of coaches have.
We got some great coaches all over the NIBC, don't we?
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Forget the record. The record is a difference of talent.
Here's Ross in the paint to tie it. He's got 2 free throws instead to try to tie it.
Yeah, see, he goes into the paint and finishes with the jump stop. It's so vital for young players to understand if they don't have a direct line, a clear path, you must jump stop, spray it out, drop it down, or attempt a shot.
And Jordan Ross, a 4-star recruit headed to St. Mary's next year. That's the kind of guy that can jump into a St. Mary's program right away and be a big contributor.
And he jumped into the ESPN 100 in our last ranking. He just worked his way in there. They got a nice freshman this year, Aiden Mahaney.
Yeah.
4-star player.
Think they can get Gonzaga this year?
They're built for it this year, yes. You watched that last game, man. I mean, it came down to the last few minutes.
Tied at 42, final 90 seconds. Oh, Walters, the hesitation. It stays with LaLu. It was last off the hand of Mookie Cook. Huge game for both sides, but especially LaLu, who knows they got to go 3-0 to have a chance at Geico Nationals. Yalden drops it off right through the hands of Bailey.
Tough pass by Gus. Right idea, but too congested. When you see all the yellow shirts, throw it out. It's okay to throw it out.
21 turnovers tonight. Ross, offensive foul. Trenton Walters took the charge.
This guy's been making big plays all game long on both ends of the floor. Handling the ball, assist. Tell you what, he puts his chest right into Jordan Ross. No problem for the smaller Trenton Walters.
The second charge he's taken in this second half. Exactly a minute to play in a tie game. Timeout, LaLu with 53 seconds to play in regulation.
So Pat Holmes has to go to his set play list. I think you have to look at Zay Lowry for an open shot on one end. Caleb Glenn possibly in the mid-post.
3 made threes tonight for Bailey. Caleb Glenn, meanwhile, has got 15 points on just 6 shot attempts.
And he's made a couple of threes. So I'm looking at Caleb Glenn, Zayd Lowry, something for one of them, the other guy being a second option. Anybody could be a second option, but those two guys, in my mind, have had more of the hot hand.
Worth noting, Tybo Bailey's hit 3 threes as well tonight, too.
I forgot to mention that. So you got 3 bona fide scorers. Set play is going to have to be for one. If they take away that option, they got to be ready to pass. And what Pat Holmes will do, put everybody in the right position so the spacing is strong. Now, if you're AZ Compass Prep, let's see, it's all about matchups right now. Allen is on Lowry. That's a great matchup. Ross with the size against Walters. And Mookie Cook on Caleb Glenn.
They're running it through Glenn right now. Walters off the ball screen. Blew by Compton. Here's Glenn. Shot was blocked, but he got fouled. Caleb Glenn to the free throw line where he's 5 for 5 tonight.
Are you kidding me with that pass? I mean, Trenton Walters. Watch him go into the paint right here. I mean, he's 5'8". He's going against Farrell Compton, who's 6'8". Somehow, some way, he finds Caleb Glenn. And you know Glenn was just going to attack the rack.
There's True Washington picking up his 5th foul. Our Chevrolet player of the game tonight, Caleb Glenn, has been phenomenal. 15 points, 13 rebounds, 6 blocks. Back-to-back nights with a double-double.
Best game I've ever seen him play. And if LaLu goes on to win this game, yes, his points, his rebounds, his blocks, but it's been his will in this game that's been the difference.
Just how about the activity overall? I mean, moving, blocking shots, being there on help side, I'm just everywhere tonight.
And he hasn't stopped. Like, he's never rested. He doesn't come out of the game. His energy level right now is the same as it was to start the game.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's been consistent all game long.
It's both free throws. Game high 17 gives LaLu a 2-point lead. And AZ Compass takes one of their 2 remaining timeouts with 31 seconds to play.
Think about some of the games that we saw this afternoon.
Yeah.
The will, desire of Jaden Reed for LaLu. The game was on the line. Makes 2 big plays at the end. To give, I'm sorry, not LaLu, but Lou High the win. Think about Oak Hill getting their first win. Micah Robinson, you know, he put his team on his back, scoring and rebounding. Now in this game, Caleb Glenn, right now for LaLu has them in a pretty good position. It's not over. It's not even close to over. For AZ Compass Prep, it's been a collection of guys who have played extremely well.
I think about some of the games we had yesterday, too. It's just been good game after good game.
It's really fun to see seniors become leaders on their team. You know, they finally understand the maturity level of understanding how important it is to not to get theirs, but to help their team win.
Where are you going if you're AZ Compass here?
You know, Mookie Cook with the ball in his hands has always been good, and tonight he's been great. He's got 10 points, 3 assists. 4 assists, excuse me. I mean, I think he's a guy that you trust. I think it's going to start off with Jordan Ross. He's a big-time, crunch-time performer. He led Mocan to the Peach Jam Championship.
That's right.
So I'm looking at Jordan Ross. I'm looking at Mookie Cook. And if the shot is missed, I'm looking at Marcus Allen to clean it up.
Miller off the screen. Going into Yalden. Banks it in. What a finish. Ties it at 44. Walters into the corner with Glenn. Oh, the 3 swirls out. Phillips with 4. Phillips lays it in with 2 seconds to go. Oh, AZ Compass with a big bucket from Jamari Phillips with just 1 second to play.
What a sequence. LaLu going for the win. Corner kick. Caleb Glenn in and out. And AZ Compass does what they do best. They convert from defense to offense. And there's only 2.3 left on the clock. You know, a lot of teams would have got that miss and not know what to do. They just sprint the floor, throw it ahead, and let their athleticism and talent take over.
So they added 1.3 to the clock. There's 2.3 total. No timeouts for La Lumiere, and they've got to go the length of the floor. 2 to tie it, 3 to win it.
So you have time for a pass and a dribble?
Yeah.
Or you have time for 2 dribbles and a shot. But no more than that. It's going to be 1-on-1 or 2 dribbles.
Pass is intercepted by Pierce. He traveled with 9/10 of a second to go. That actually helps La Lumiere more than anything because the Lakers get to inbound it underneath their own basket now with plenty of time for a catch and shoot.
No timeouts for Pat Holmes. He's got to call his lob play or a catch and shoot play. You can catch and shoot with .9.
Bailey to inbounds. It's Yalden for the 3 and the win. He missed it, and AZ Compass survives.